go then. Right, introducing on my show now. It's a pleasure to interview Ames. He's an upcoming artist on my radio show and podcasts, just to speak with me on my shows to talk about his brand new single and his album. But just before we get into that, Ames, how's life treating you today and where are you situated?
I'm good, Danny. I'm coastal at the moment. I'm by the beach. It's 33 degrees. The sun is shining. Life is good. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Yeah, great to have you on. And would you just like to tell me and my listeners just a little bit about yourself, how you musically got into this industry?
Which industry? The UK, the world?
Let's go
I'm,
with the world.
well, we're not really industry artists. We're more like we're living art in the flesh. So our music represents that. So AIM started as a DJ Sniper as a teenager in the Solid Crew. I was into pirate radio when we won our first Brit Awards and Mobile Awards and all that stuff. And then from there on, we evolved. I evolved as a producer, started producing for the likes of some of the greatest artists in the world, and started getting into music. We went from DJ Sniper to AM Sniper, the artist, to the final product, I would say. I don't know if I'm going to change the name again, which is Ames.
Brill.
We're
And
here, studio album number two.
lovely. And one of the most important things when starting up, any kind of business is like setting up a brand name. How did you come up with the name of Ames, with the exclamation mark as well in your stage name?
Well, it's an acronym of AM Sniper, which was my previous name. And I felt that the word sniper was at the time was not reflecting where I wanted to take it musically. So when I had my street name, Sniper was my real nickname, growing up in South London in Tooting. And from there on, I mean, it just felt like I started music when I was 12 years old, man. So you think that's the cool name, but then you grow up, you want to express yourself in subjects like love and self-discovery and self-motivation. So the word sniper wasn't resonating with our sound, but we still wanted to keep the foundations of the AM Sniper audience and fan base because we sold millions of records to get to the point of AM Sniper. We still had, multi-platinum albums out and everything around the world. So, flipping to Ames was a non it was a no-brainer because it felt right. I saw the exclamation. It still means AM Sniper. It's just we put a silencer on the sniper word and we trademarked it because obviously signing into label deals from a young age, you don't know half of the stuff you know growing up in the business. And but I try not to think of it as a business. And I always try and think of the fact that, this is what I love doing. I know there's a lot of work and things you got to put into it, but we focus on the thing that always drives us to be here, which is the actual music itself.
That's excellent to hear. And how would you personally describe, like, say, like your music or, the lyrics that you're trying to compose?
I mean, as a singer-songwriter, I've I've worked and I will work with insanely talented people. So it's always a blessing to see how I adapt to do it for myself. So when I write for someone, when I have to do it for myself is a little bit different because when you write for someone else, you don't feel as personal. But in terms of my own sound with this album, with my first studio album with Offshore, I gave people a little hint of Global Street. So being a mixed race kid, both parents mixed, Cypriot, Italian, Lebanese, and English. So I have so many influences around me growing up. And um, I feel with this album, like we're definitely showing this genre that I call global street, but only time will tell if it will actually be a genre or just my sound. Because to call something a genre, more artists got to resonate to it, more artists got to create it, and it's got to grow with numbers in terms of artists. But then, regardless of my success or not, but then with me just doing it, then it will just be, oh, Global Street is the sound of Ames. Either way, I'm cool, but the idea is to show people that outside of the music capitals, of the world, like London, like New York, like LA. There's talent everywhere. So Global Street is more like it's definitely an offspring of hip hop. Whereas for me, hip hop is very American. I wouldn't like to class myself as a hip hop artist because I'm not American. I feel that UK grime and garage is not very American, but then you can't put my Mediterranean influence in grime and garage to that extent, you know. And I'm very close with Wiley, who actually created grime. So I've also seen that as an example and a source of inspiration. But with Global Street, we felt like when hip hop came about, you had graffiti. You had when hip hop came about, you had graffiti. You had breakdancing, beatboxing, MCing, and DJing. Since then, you've now got sneaker collectors that are influential, podcasts. You've got trade card collectors. You've got Pokemon card collectors. You've got all sorts of uh, influence that is beyond what hip hop's reach was. So with Global Street, it's like we we open the doors to all of that, to your talent, whether it's you dancing on TikTok or being a comedian on social media or being a big streamer on Twitch or being a food reviewer. And there's amazing talent everywhere, man. As a writer and producer, I've seen incredible talent, and they're not necessarily in LA or in London or in New York. They could be anywhere. So that's what the global street fundamentals are and where they come from. And hopefully everyone so far is enjoying the album. It's only been out for a few days, so it's something that only time will tell how big it will be. But my main source of inspiration in music is Bob Marley and what he did with Jamaica. And I strive to emulate that with Cyprus. And, I've broken the record this year for the most top tens in Cyprus as an artist. And my motherland supported me, even if it's a small, tiny industry, it still means a lot to me because it's home. And, we drive from that and yeah, global street to the world.
That's so cool. I remember, like, in say in the 80s, the ghetto blaster, and mentioning now into the modern day the things that the younger generation are into, yeah, moving along with the times to appeal to that demographic.
Amazing. You need to send me that or something. I want to hear it. I might have heard it, but I just want to make sure I tune into things. I like listening to, things that people remember from before. And even with our campaign for this album campaign, I said to the team, let's talk to everyone. Let's talk to everyone that press play on our music because that is so valid and important. And I feel that all the algorithms and data have kind of yeah, it's cool. I'm with all that. I'm with the social media. I've got a great team here. I've got Sodiri, Bavlo, Mario in my team that's doing a great, effort in the social media. Like the whole creative team around me is amazing. But let's not forget that the people that press play, whether it's on BBC or Danny over Overflow or anyone, that's what drives music. And I feel that attention that everyone gets on social media makes them feel so entitled that they shouldn't talk to people that press play. But actually, it's fun when people talk to the people that play their music because I'd rather talk to someone that plays my music as opposed to someone that just wants to repost on the Instagram to get some likes and followers. You know what I mean, bro? And that's why we're doing it how we're doing it.
Exactly what I like about the show is the interactivity and just trying to give the artist that extra, push up, in the spotlight, whether it attracts, 100 people or 1,000 people and so on.
Matter. It
All
doesn't matter.
helps. Brilliant. And one of
What's
the
important?
reasons I got you on the show is to talk about your new single. It's called My Bests as well. I had a little listen to it today when I was having a little walk in the park, and yeah, it's really good. I just wanted to ask, from your perspective, what do you hope the listeners will take from this new single called My Bests?
So my best is actually it was never planned to be a single. We put the whole album out and we said let everyone choose what they like more. So my best just started taking like it took a lot of traction as a song. My best and Wait What. I think those are the two songs off the project that are very, very powerful. So with my best, it was a very challenging song for me personally because I rarely sing, let alone, yeah, I've got melodic flows, but to try and sing and hit higher notes and going talking to myself in a crowded room, I would not do that. I would be like, bro, like I'm not a singer. You've got Ed Sheeran, the late Amy Winehouse. You've got all these great voices. Why am I gonna sing? But it was when they brought me the song, when Cool and Dre showed me the Amapiano vibe fused with some Mediterranean bounce. Um, John Reese showed me some of the ideas he had for it. And I was in the lab thinking, you know what, this is out of my comfort zone, but I'll give it a try. And I remember my engineer, who's incredible, Hypertone, he was like, make sure you smile when you're singing it because it just it helps you hit the note differently. So people never heard something like this from me. So I'm excited that they get to see that, even though it wasn't comfortable doing it because people are just used to Ames just dropping rap flows. Um, and I felt that it's a positive song. The message in there is positive and it kind of goes dark and then it breaks out into this aggressive vibe. And then, is that foot the producer added the bass and everything and some cool piano riffs and synths. But the way I wanted it to be positive was by showing that I'm in a dead end in that moment in my life. I'm being vulnerable. I'm by myself in a closed room, and but you can come out of it. So sometimes showing the world that you can be vulnerable is actually still a positive message because we all have our highs and lows. But yeah, man, I'm glad that my best is sticking out of the 9 tracks, but we were so how do you give the world a new genre with one song? It's hard. So you had to give them a body of work. But we then went and done a 6-minute short film, which is out now on YouTube, which is basically 9 chapters, and every chapter is every song on the album. So we instead of doing the traditional like what labels do, like, oh yeah, single one, video, single two, we were like, let's film the whole album as a journey visually and let's release that as well. So that's doing where we I think 500,000 views in 2 days. So I'm sure it's growing well with the people. But yeah, um,
Fantastic.
very excited, very
And
excited.
one of your previous singles, if I am correct, is called Need Somebody as well. That's off your project, your new album.
Yeah, so Need Somebody was a very summer vibe. We dropped it in July with my boy Ardy, who's a young version of he reminds me a lot of myself because I went through that whole young and wild journey, but he loves music and a lot of people don't know how much talent he has. Um, Oh, they do, especially as fans, but there's more to it than just the trendy TikTok kind of out hits that he's just had. He's deep as an artist. He's deep, and I'll produce a couple tracks for him that I look forward to the world hearing in the next few months as well. He's got some good stuff coming as well, especially the track called Mic Drop. I think we done that it was a very natural, organic vibe. So I need somebody, and then the other one was Light and Love with Julia Marley, which obviously I told you I'm very inspired from Bob Marley. I can't work with him, but I can work with his son, which is the next best thing. And Julian's a Grammy winner. Antaeus is also a Grammy winner. He won Best Reggae Album with Julian back in 24. And we're now being considered for a Grammy nomination for Best Global Music Recording for Light and Love. So fingers crossed on the 7th of November, we'll know. And yeah, we'll catch up again if that happens, man.
Yeah,
It's celebrations all around, you know?
that's really fantastic and positive to hear. Just a couple more questions I wanted to ask you. What's it like, when you hear your song being played back on the radio or when you get like feedback, from the general public?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I don't read comments or bother too much on social media. I'm not a very big social media guy. I want my presence to be big on social media. That's why I asked for help from my team. But in terms of me personally, I'm not savvy with it. Like, I'm not very good. But hearing my music anywhere It's not just radio, anywhere, man. Interviews, podcasts, people even giving, because everyone's got so much to deal with nowadays. So much. There's so much more than what it used to be. And where one or two songs would have made someone's year, now they listen to hundreds of songs per week. So having someone commit any time towards your project and your work when there's so many options and so much talent out there, you can't take that for granted, man. So any support I always get, I'm always grateful. So grateful, man.
Great. And your new album's called Peak Season, which is out now on all good outlets.
Yeah.
And one of the other tracks on there is called Champion. What's the story or inspiration behind this track?
So Champione is a node to my wife and daughter. So basically, she's been a rock for me. She's given me the freedom to be creative. Always been there my whole life through highs and lows. We we know each other before my earlier success, before what I'm doing now. So I feel that she deserved an anthem for her for being a true champion behind what I'm doing. And it was one of the songs that I knew that when I put Champione out, I never thought it would have been. I never had an album in mind. So I was like, when I do have an album in mind, this is definitely going to be on there because it's just it comes from a very, very, very deep space in my heart and my soul. And Alika co-wrote it with me. Punctual produced it. Blanco is on it. Rams is on it. Everyone put their energy into it, their own source into it, and it's actually I tend to not highlight it in the last few days with the new album because it came out before all of this. But when you talk about it and you bring it up, I'm like, yeah, actually, that's a strong song, very powerful for me, very
It's a very
meaningful.
proud moment for you, that one, recording it.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely. And on the album, it's star-studded. There's lots of collabs on there. What do you like about working with other like-minded musicians and artists?
I mean, as a writer and a producer, this is what I will do for the rest of my life, write for artists, from Cool and Dre to Fat Joe to some hip hop icons to stuff with Kanye West. I mean, right with Beam. I mean, there's so much insane talent around the world that, sometimes I forget them because I'm just always trying to create. And I feel that when you create, you always have that energy of like you feel that you've got purpose. So you never have enough of it. If this is what you like doing, whether I'm writing for myself or for others, it feels exactly the same. It does really. I know people say, yeah, but when it's your own music, and it's like, but when you make it, it doesn't matter. It is your own, whether it's coming from one brand or another brand, it's still everything's your own. So it's kind of like a fashion designer doing designs for different fashion houses, but it's the same designer. So I guess they get the same kick out of it. But that's how I feel. I mean, and I don't judge artists based on their success, like what their numbers are saying. I like that because when you step in the room, when you enter the studio, you leave everything at the doormat, whether it's your ego, whether it's your success, whether it's your insecurities. Try and leave everything outside, step in the studio and just be creative. And that's what I say to everyone I work with.
Brilliant. And where's best for people to follow you on, like, say, social media, like websites or YouTube or, Facebook, Instagram, and so on, TikTok?
So you can find me at Who Is Ames on all social media at Who Is Ames on YouTube, on TikTok, on Insta. Yeah, it's Ames High to the World. I'm here with my boy Danny Son, and we're doing what we
Brilliant.
do live, flood it, Ames High to the World, peak season. Yeah,
Great. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you, Ames. And I really feel your passion, coming through, when talking to you,
appreciate
and keeping it real. I think that's the term that people use, being yourself and doing what you do.
comfortable within yourself. Yeah, man, very, very. I think this project is the most comfortable I am in terms of I don't feel that I need to put up a front, or it's just our sound, our look, our vision, and hopefully the world enjoys it and loves it as much as we loved creating it, man.
I'm sure they will. And best of luck with everything. I know where it's exciting times, with your Grammy nomination coming up and this new album as well. So
Let's get
fingers
that in.
crossed for you. And I encourage the listener to check out your music and your new album out now, Peak Season. Thanks again. Ames on my
Thanks for
show.
having me, bro. Love.
All the best.